Hey everybody, welcome. Hey Craig. Hey Pup Camper. Hi everybody. I see we've already got 7 people in here, and I'm glad to see that because I think it's really an important live stream that we're going to talk about tonight. So I hope everybody's doing well. It's a last minute live stream that I decided to do. Can everybody hear me okay? Could you just let me know in the comments that you can hear me all right? I want to welcome everybody. It is Saturday the 19th. And oh, is it Sweetest Day? Hi Eddie T. Welcome to the live stream. Um, Passing time. Thank you. Thanks for verifying the sound. I'm in my RV. I am in Arizona. And hi, Debbie. I'm in Arizona. I'm in Yuma, Arizona right now. And it's the weather's beautiful. Originally, it was really, really hot. If you've seen any of my videos, it was like 100 and something degrees. But now the temperature is starting to cool off. And yeah, my sidekick Danny, she's right here. Yeah, she's just here biting her nails. Hey, Van Gogh Betsy, thank you for joining from Florida. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not a victim of the hurricane. Um, to my people in Florida, Debbie and Eddie and Van Gogh Betsy and Travels with Pearl. Hello there, Travels with Pearl. Another um, in from Michigan. Good to see you on here. Thank you. So if you saw my thumbnail, now that we have some people here, if you saw my thumbnail, I think this is a really hey, Norman in San Diego. Glad everybody's well there in Florida. I know I retired from Florida, and so my heart is there with everybody who was victim normally. Hi, Judy. Lots of trees down. Yeah, I know. So, lots of damage, people again. This is, the third one. Uh, hey, down. Now she thinks it's time to play. Go on, get. I might have to get her something to stop her. She's biting my hand. But so yeah, it was like 113 here. I can't wait to get to Florida, although I'm having a great time here in Arizona. Okay, that's Pup Camper. I am going to Florida. I'm going to be camping with a friend of mine who's in the room. I'm going to be camping with her and have some fun. We're going to do some things in Florida. I'm also going to be going down by my brother's and in my old stomping grounds where I used to work for the sheriff's office, down there and see some people. And I'll be going to the Florida Keys as I always do. I'm going to, last year and the year before, I did not make it over to the other coast, but I am going to make it over to the other coast this year for sure. I'm going to make myself get over there. But if you saw, I was starting to say, if you saw my thumbnail, it's about a shootout at a popular place. Hey, Gypsy, Vanilla Grilla, how are ya? Me and Billy were just talking about you not long ago. And hi, Crystal. Hey, everybody. So I ran across a video by two RVers. You know what? As a husband and wife, and for the life of me, I was going to put their name up here and show you, but um, I didn't, you know, I wasn't able to pull it back up because I couldn't remember their name. But I just ran across this video and I'm thinking, gee, I'm in Arizona. Why didn't I hear anything about it? Okay. You bet my ears are ringing. Yeah. Well, we were talking about you. We were talking about the Michigan meetup, and I did not make it to that meetup this year. I cut my trip short in Michigan. In fact, Billy's usually here, but I did not tell him I was going live, so I don't know if he'll make it to the live stream or not. I should have sent him a text. That's shame on me. But, I know he's probably him and his, who knows? I don't even know if he got deployed to the hurricanes because he is oh, thanks for saying you missed me. I hope you had a great meetup. I don't know if he got deployed or not. He's an electrician, he works on all the lines and all that other stuff. So I haven't spoken with him um recently. Oh, I'm glad you met some great people. And the meetup that we're talking about is M24. And there will be an M25 next year, maybe, I think, but I'm not sure. Hey, Mike and Lisa, excellent adventures. Mike used to be Minivan Mike and Megavan Mike, but now he's Mike and Lisa, excellent adventures. So, back to our subject here. Yes, M25 is on. So next year, same time in Michigan. So let's talk about what happened in Arizona. Now, you know what? I watched the news here in Arizona. I watched the news and nothing was on the news about it that I saw. I don't know how I missed it. Uh, I don't know if y'all even know what I'm talking about. Did you see my thumbnail? Did y'all see my thumbnail and what it was about? Danny, stop. Oh, I was looking for your response. But let's talk about it. So my thumbnail tells you that there was a shootout at Craggy Wash. Now, if you watch all the Nomads, and if you've been watching the Nomads, um, you know, over the last 7 years, you'll might recognize that name, Craggy Wash. Now, Craggy Wash is a BLM area that many of the nomads would go camping in, and I've never gone up there because the road is pretty rough going in. Okay, I'm gonna say that it is pretty high. Hi, Kiza. Thank you. So if I don't acknowledge everybody right away, well, they probably won't hear me when they come in. It's because I want to like get to the subject line, you know. But so Craggy Wash is located just right outside of Lake Havasu. And when I go there, or when I used to go there, RV Joey and I would park at the state trust land, me, RV Joey, and Deborah Coleman, Pilfrey in my RV, the canna lady who had passed away. And it's right around the same time this year um, that we lost Deborah. What a great gal, and I miss her a lot. But you'll probably remember us hanging out together all the time. She had the big bounder. Yes, Terry and Scott, Destination Open Road. They go to Craggy Wash. In fact, they did a big thing on Craggy Wash last year, and about all the um, abandoned and trailers and how crappy it had gotten this past recently in the last couple of years. And it seems like, originally when we would go out there and boondock or come to, Arizona during big tent time or the van build time, we'd make our rounds to a couple of different places. People would go to um, the Skadden Wash where the RTR was. We were there for 14 days and then we would have to leave. Hi, Sally. Great, Sally. I won't be going to Florida till January, but if I can give you some ideas, I'd be happy to on where I stay. And I just saw, just so you might want to jot this, is Lake Panasofi did open up, and you can camp there for 7 days with a reservation for free. And that's like in the central part of Orlando, near Orlando, and we love it there. I love it there. Marsha, um, I don't know if you ever met Marsha, long lost road trip, but she camps there with also, and I've camped there with her. We had a great time there, and it's free. In fact, there is bathrooms there, and there is water there, just so you know, and great place for your animals. So back to our subject, so we don't get off track here. So everybody would go to at some point would go either to state trust land near Lake Havasu, or they would go to Craggy Wash, or sometimes behind the Walmart. But Craggy Wash is a little bit off, outside of town. And it's like I said, it's a little rough getting in there. And as Pub Camper 58 mentioned that Destination Open Road did some videos last year when they went through there, and they noticed that it wasn't the same. We used to also go to Ehrenberg, and we used to do a cleanup in Ehrenberg in the desert. They would Pandemonium, Asha, she had a meetup out there. They also, one year right at Christmas time, rented a big dumpster and put a dumpster out there and we would go and clean up all the garbage and junk out in the desert that people have left behind. That was one of the things that a lot of the nomads that on the tribe that we all traveled together or camped together was we were really adamant about was cleaning up the desert and making sure that we left it the way that we found it, but better, right? Left it the same, but better. And that was before everyone started or decided to, okay, we don't want to move every 14 days. We don't want to move 25 miles away. We'll just start going to the long-term visitor area, which was a more reasonable price, for the $180, a year. And hopefully it won't change, but that's another video. So anyway, so only a few people I think have been out there in the last couple of years. And I know Dan would go there. I understand, Sally. So Dan, Blue Van Dan, he would go to Craggy Wash several times in Caravan Carolyn, Destination Open Road, Pandemonium. Uh, a lot of the nomads would go there and set up their little camp in their little area, and everything would be fine. Everybody would feel safe with no problems. So then I see this um, video by this couple, this RVing couple, that there was a shootout at Craggy Wash. And I'm like, come on, really? A shootout at Craggy Wash? I'm a retired cop. I worked homicide, the whole bit. That's why I'm going to put my 2 cents in here. So, you know, it's usually more dangerous to be in your house and take out your trash to the curb than it is really that I've found. And many of us nomads have experienced, you know, camping on BLM land, and especially if we camp in a group, but I camp by myself many a time and not had any issues. But if I did stop somewhere and I didn't feel comfortable or the hair stood up on the back of my neck, I left and I would go someplace that I felt a little better about. Even if it meant that I would go to sleep in the parking lot of a casino or a Love's gas station, or whatever. And right now, I'm in a Thousand Trails RV park in Yuma. And I've been here before. I like it here. It's part of my membership. I only do the yearly membership. And so I only could stay 14 days. So I'm okay with the 14 days and move on down the road. Move on down the road. Yeah. So I see this advertisement and I thought, wow, this is really something. So, hi, Desrat. So I look a little bit further into it and I find some things here that I did a little investigation on. Well, I wasn't. I mean, I checked into the articles. So this all started in Nevada. Well, it didn't really. It started in Arizona. It started that two guys went on a camping trip and one person in particular that we know about, he had his pickup truck and his travel trailer, which was like a man cave travel trailer. And he was camping with a friend, but he needed to return back home, which was in Arizona. He's from Arizona. And they went to Jacobs Lake near the Grand Canyon. So um, the one person in particular that is going to be the main person of our this information about this incident, he went to he was supposed to return home and I guess he didn't return home when he was supposed to. So his wife reported him missing, but a couple of days before that, this is what happened in Las Vegas. In Las Vegas or in Nevada, I guess it was, near Las Vegas. On October 6th, it was around 7:30 in the morning, officers responded to a report of a body on the side of the road on Interstate 15 near Hidden Valley Road, and the victim was found with apparent trauma and gunshot wounds. Now, this was a John Doe victim that was found shot up and beat up from what it sounds. He had some blunt it sounds like blunt trauma. Yuma's great, Tom, thanks. So he had some trauma. Maybe he was beat up, I don't know, it just says trauma, and then there was gunshot wounds, and he was on the side of the road. Now, we don't have all the facts or all the information. They don't tell you everything because they're still doing an investigation, and they don't know who this person is. Next thing you know it, this woman reports her husband missing, but she reports him missing, I believe it was on October 8th. And she tells the officers where he was supposed to be camping. So I believe it was the sheriff's office goes up to the area at Jacobs Lake where this man is supposed to be. His name is Russell. Is supposed to be camping, and they find their campsite. Now I don't know if they had an assigned campsite or not, but they find their campsite, and when they find the campsite, they find some suspicious things around. Now, in all the media coverage I've read, it doesn't tell you what suspicious things they found. That indication that something wasn't right, and that was very suspicious. What they found, I don't know. They don't tell you what was at the campsite. But they didn't find the husband, Russell. They didn't find his friend wasn't there. They didn't find anybody. So obviously they put out a missing persons report. And in the meantime, um, when they do, they find him, they find the vehicle belonging to Russell. It's reported as being seen in Craggy Wash. Now, in the meantime, there's a Facebook article on here. I can't read it real well. I don't know if you can, but let me see if I can go to my phone and get it. So the Facebook ad says that's on Arizona camping. It says, "My Uncle Russell has been missing for several days. I'm sharing this in case anyone has seen him or knows anything. He was last seen camping near the north rim of the Grand Canyon this past weekend." So that would have been the weekend of October 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever. Okay. This morning, his stolen truck was found in Lake Havasu City. And this says, and the person who stole it. Now, we really don't know that that person really stole it, but that's what they wrote. So obviously, there's a report that this vehicle is found over in Craggy Wash, and law enforcement goes over to Craggy Wash. Okay. So they get over to Craggy Wash, and when they get there, all of a sudden, this guy who's occupying Russell's truck starts shooting at them, at the officers. So they get in a shootout at Craggy Wash with this person of interest. Now, the person is now known as Patrick. I believe it's Champion, is pronunciation of his last name. So he starts shooting at the officers, and the officers return fire. And then he gets into his vehicle, or the truck that belongs to Russell, the missing man, and he uses the vehicle to storm towards the officers. Well, a truck is an 8 or 10,000 pound weapon, and the officers return fire. At which time they eliminated the risk. They stopped the risk, but it killed the person. And fortunately, even though the officers went to the hospital just to get checked out, so anyway, the guy dies. Now, the person in the vehicle is dead, so we don't know, and nobody knows because they haven't talked to that person. There's no witnesses that can say that Russell didn't give this guy the truck to use. But somebody wrote on Facebook that, or the nephew wrote that the person that was killed by officers is the person that stole the truck. Well, there's no evidence that proves that this truck was stolen. And there's a lot of information that's not told here because anything can happen out there and you just don't know. You don't know. Maybe he told the guy he could borrow his truck, you know? Maybe something else happened. You just don't know what happened. It doesn't necessarily mean it was stolen or that he gave him the truck without permission. So then now he's dead. And then they finally identify the person that was on the side of the road in Nevada. And the person on the side of the road in Nevada turns out to be who? That's true. Some people, Gypsy and Vanilla, are just paranoid and don't like cops. Or, just because he opened fire on the cops doesn't mean that he stole the truck. But people could assume, but still, you have to have fact in this. And he's dead, so you can't ask him. And now they're still looking for the guy who owns the truck. They still haven't found the guy who owns the truck. But the guy that was found on the side of the road, like 4 days previously or 3 days previously, I think it was 3 days or 2 days previously, the missing John Doe is the victim. He's the person that owns the truck. He's Russell Vinton. He's identified as the man who owns the truck and the camper. But the camper's not found, just the truck. The camper wasn't there, just the truck. But there was a third person, and I had to look all over to find this. Nobody said anything about the third person. Where's this guy's buddy? I mean, Russell was supposed to report for jury duty, and that's what made his wife suspicious. Like, hey, my husband's not back yet, and he's got to go to jury duty on Monday. I guess it probably was on Monday, but he didn't get home. So in the meantime, now they find the truck. The guy in the truck gets in a shootout. Oh, the guy in the truck, his name is Patrick Champion. He's from Tennessee. So he's got the truck in Arizona, but Russell is found on the side of the road in Nevada. Now we know that Lake Havasu is not that far from Nevada or from Las Vegas. I leave, usually go from Lake Havasu to Las Vegas to visit my family, during Thanksgiving. I do it every year. I want to do it again this year. But it's kind of strange. Why would the guy be in Nevada and then why would you come back to Arizona with the victim's car or truck, you know? And you can't ask anybody because they're both dead, you know? One killed by someone and the other killed by the police. So it's pretty interesting because normally, you don't hear about all this bad stuff happen over at Craggy Wash. So, you know, or all this stuff happening up near the Grand Canyon, people camping. So it tells you, come on, we got to put up our safety antennas, nomads and campers and RVers and weekenders and everybody who's travelers, put up your antennas for safety. You know, if I'm looking all over to see what is the relationship with this guy from Tennessee. Did they know this guy from Tennessee? Well, it turns out here's where they tell you that they go to the campsite. The article says deputies find the campsite and say Vinton's truck and camper were not found, but suspicious items that were concerning were located. And then on Wednesday morning, that's when they found the truck in the area of Craggy Wash, which is just north of Lake Havasu and the airport. And there was somebody inside the truck. When they approached the suspect, who is now identified as 61-year-old Patrick Neal Champion from Tennessee, he opened fire on them, and then they returned fire and they killed him. Now, I did read another article where it said that he drove the car towards them because they probably, when he opened fire, they may have taken hard cover, retreated a little bit to take cover so that they could return fire. But the camper is still missing. So let's keep our eyes open because this camper is somewhere. And it's described as a 2017 man cave travel trailer with Arizona license plates, and the Arizona license plates are 5LA50N. Well, it could be somebody wanted the camper. Somebody took off with the camper, and this guy's got the truck. Who knows? You know? Who knows who's out there? And do you remember in the past, they a lot of times we have to worry about somebody's going to steal your camper from you and and take it over the border into Mexico? I mean, wasn't there another couple who the couple was missing and they took the camper and the truck and took it to Mexico? But this guy, all he took was the truck. Who has the camper? Or was he a hitchhiker? And did Russell pick up this guy hitchhiking maybe on his way out of there, and then the guy hijacked him and made him drive to Vegas, and maybe killed him and threw him out of the car and dumped the trailer somewhere because who knows? And then he returns to Arizona. There's so many different scenarios, you know. 5085LM. What's that? 5085LM. Yeah, in Texas and North Padre Island. I think it did something like that did happen over there, if I remember correctly. So now we've got, we don't know what, so I'm looking all over and saying, well, how do they know if he knows this guy? And even if, say, his wife says, well, we don't know anybody like that. Well, do husbands and wives tell their spouses everything, all the people? I mean, it could be somebody he knows or met, and the wife doesn't know about the guy. Could be a few people involved, like a group of, no, the plate number is in the article here. It is, the license plate is 5 L Lima A Adam 5 O Ocean and Nora. I think it's I don't think it's 50 and then an N. Danny, my dog is doing some stuff. So if you see this trailer, now I'm sure they've taken that license plate off of it, but you know what? You know, whoever has that camper may not know that the victim is dead and that they're not just being looked for stolen conveyance, that it could be that, they're suspect in a homicide, you know? So now I'm thinking to myself, well, did he know this guy? Did he know this? Patrick. So, and I don't know how they could really say that he doesn't know the guy. I mean, unless the wife says, well, he doesn't know anybody by that name. But it says there was a guy who went up there, a friend with Russell camping. There were two of them that went there camping, but you don't hear him say anything about it. Well, I finally found an article, on the Fox News, and it says October 10th, Victor Vinton was found, Russell Vinton was found dead, and they're still searching for the 2017 trailer with the Arizona plate on it. Now, here's a plate. I got it up on screen for you. And then if you have any information, let them know. But if you look at the second paragraph, it says a third man who was camping with Vinton, with Russell, the victim, was safe and is not believed to be a suspect in the disappearance. So, and his name has never been released. They're keeping him quiet. They're not telling anybody what his name is or who he is. So, or how good of a friend he is, or anything like that. So all this sounds a little fishy to me, that a lot of the information needed is not there. So it's time to look at the ballistics. So they got the gun, obviously, that this Patrick from Tennessee used to shoot at the cops. Once they get ballistics back from that gun, and maybe if they've gotten any ballistics, or if they've gotten any bullet fragments, or maybe the wad, if there's still bullets in the victim and Russell, they can determine if the gun that Patrick Champion used to shoot at cops is the same gun used to shoot Russell. And those things don't come back right away. They don't come back at the next commercial break. So now we got to figure out, now they're going to have to determine that. And I've searched all over looking for that. The third man, who knows? They're really keeping him hush hush what he knows about it. You know, Sometimes, yeah, I don't want to imply that these guys are seedy character. I don't know. Well, the Tennessee guy is kind of far away, but that doesn't mean anything. Um, when things sound this confusing to me, in my being a former homicide investigator, it almost sounds like it's a drug deal gone bad. I don't know that. I'm not saying that on any of these people. I'm not accusing any of these people of being into drugs, but that's what it reminds me of, is a drug deal gone bad. And the wife's always the last to know. I'm not, that's just my personal experience. So here is a picture. I don't know if you could see it very well, because it's this is a picture that was posted of him, uh, in case anybody has seen him. Here's a picture of his car, and here's a picture of his camper. Now, the truck has been recovered, and he has been recovered. He's no longer a missing person. He's now a homicide victim. It has been determined that it's a homicide, but the trailer is still missing. Well, that thing could have been torched already. Who knows? But if you see it on the road, something to look out for in our travels. But also, it's very important that we continue to be, aware of our surroundings as nomads. And it's kind of strange that this is a place that we frequent, many of us frequent, to camp and boondock at Craggy Wash when we go to Havasu, because a lot of the state trust land is no longer available, and there's no place to go in Craggy, near Havasu, to without paying. And there is a state park. It's a great place to go camp, you know, but there could be several people involved, who knows? But obvious that they said that there were some suspicious things found at the campsite, and I'd be curious what those were because they haven't told that. So I've looked everywhere. If anybody else does any research and Googles it and finds anything, it'd be interesting to have the information on it. I'd be, you know, let me know, send me a message, you know. Do I still have you all there? Everybody's quiet. Are you still hearing me? Are we still connected? It says we're still connected. Oh, okay, there's Gypsy. Hi, Norman. So what do y'all think? I mean, isn't that kind of interesting? Strange? Sorry, I was a little thirsty. Got to really be careful. You know, things have changed considerably for us out here as nomads. I mean, um, like I said, we all used to just camp 14 days and then move 25 miles and camp somebody else. It is sad. It's sad that, that someone has lost their life, um, who might be an innocent person and a true victim. And I don't know these people. I just saw this article and I saw this couple did this video on it. And it was like, wow, I didn't even hear anything about it. So I thought, it's good to share it so that people know that there's this, this shootout occurred, you know? Crazy, huh? Thanks for the thumbs up. So how is everybody else out there? That's true. We don't hear very many things about stuff out there. And it's it's kind of crazy, because I forgot to connect this to my YouTube, but I guess it doesn't matter right now. It's kind of weird that something like that would happen. Oh, you saw it too, Lewis? Hi, RV Butterfly. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised. What's up? So, what's new with everybody out there? I'm going to see. I'm going to need to go into another section here. Hmm. I don't want to lose you, but I'm sure you could still see me. I'm losing one of my little technical thing going on here. See if I can get on my dashboard and fix it. Don't want to lose you here. Don't let me lose you here. Okay. I think I'm good. There I am, back again. Yeah, we are getting older. Hi, Mama Wonderlust. Oh, you're going to Cocoa Fest, City of Rocks. I'm going to Algodones next week. I'm gonna meet my sister's gonna come here and we're gonna go over the Los Algodones. It's gonna be fun. Oh, cool. Well, Sally, I don't know how long you're gonna be down in Key West. I don't know if you'll be there when I get down there, but I'll be down there in February. Don Jose's Mexican food. I like Lupita's shrimp tacos. Those are my favorite. I tell everybody about it in Los Algodones. Speaking of getting older, we're getting older. Tomorrow is our birthday. It's her birthday. She's going to be 8. Happy birthday, Daniela. Daniela, happy birthday to you. At midnight, actually. But and it's my birthday, and we went out tonight. A couple of us. We went over to see this really great band over here in Yuma. What was it? It's a two-piece band. Thank you. And had some food and barbecue. It's called the barbecue. What's the name of it? I'll tell you what the name of the place is. If you're coming to Yuma on 95, you pass this house and it's on the right-hand side of the street when you're coming from Quartzsite, and you just think it's like a big house, maybe a, barn or something, but then it says barbecue and there's all construction all around it. And I've always wanted to stop to see if it's really like, you know, a restaurant, but it is. It's Dirty South Barbecue House, and it's their sign says, "You can't beat our meat." From North Carolina to Yuma. I'll see if I can. I don't know if you can see it. Here it is. There's Dirty South Barbecue House. Whoops. Kind of hard to see the letters because of the glare. But anyway, so that's where we went. We had a blast. I mean, we had barbecued brisket and coleslaw, and they had fried okra. I don't do okra, but um well, I go to the Keys. I've been going to the Keys every year, and I don't usually have a problem getting down there. I have to kind of like wing it with boondocking, because it's like, okay, where can you boondock? You can't. You can't boondock in the Keys. Yeah, okra, fried okra, coleslaw. Um, what else besides it? Oh, cornbread. They had really good cornbread. I didn't eat the cornbread, but it looked really good because I'm still trying to do keto. But you know what? Then I messed it up and I had a drink. I didn't have a drink, but it's a bring your own booze place. You can't, they don't sell liquor. I obviously don't have a liquor license or whatever. They don't sell liquor, but you could bring your own liquor. So you can brown bag it, brown bag it. A lot of people go, brown bag it. That's an old term. Yeah, the Keys are fun. Oh, and you know what? I just saw something from the Keys. I guess Fantasy Fest is in October. Um, and it can get really wild and crazy there. Yes, you do have to have a drink from time to time, but it could be real wild and crazy during Fantasy Fest. So they really they get down and they're real strict when it comes to, you know, the people, hanging out in Fantasy Fest. But After that, I don't usually go there till January, so I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. But they don't, there is no real boondocking in the Keys. You're not allowed to. I mean, if you get lucky enough to find a place to park, um, don't get caught because, you know, now then there is mooch docking or camping with permission, maybe at some business or home or something like that. But even there are no um no boondocker welcomes. I think there was one boondockers welcome location in the Keys, but you had to be under 25 feet, so that leaves me out. Boondocking's getting well, I have there's plenty of places you can go in, but it depends on what area you wanna be in. They might not be conveniently located. There's Lake Panasofa, you get 7 days for free there, and it's a great place, and it's in the middle of the state, and I love it there. It's a good place to go. They have trash, they have a bathroom, they have a lot of stuff there, and it's free. But you can only stay for 7 days, and then you have to leave. But you know what? You can leave one day and come back the next day and stay for 7 more days if you mark a reservation on their website. Your daughter does you said your daughter lives in the Keys, Mama Wonderlust? So you are able to park your RV on the street? Because I mean, I would think that they would check that to make sure, and then they can tell you that you can park there, but you can't sleep in it. Yeah, 34 feet. And at Lake Panasope in Florida, you could be as big as you want. It doesn't matter what size if you got a 40-footer. Oh, yeah. I mean, even there's I forget what the name of the place is. It's right on the left-hand side of the road as you're headed towards Key West, but when after you come over this one little bridge in Marathon, there's you can like primitive camp at this RV park, but they want almost $100 a night. Yeah, people are very resilient after the hurricane. But there is a lot of places now that because of the hurricane, they're allowing people to have their RVs there because they're staying in their RV while they're fixing their houses, if that's the case. But yeah, there's and Cecil Webb Babcock Ranch, you can go and camp there, and if you just buy a season, that's in Punta Gorda. I camp there all the time. You can be there for a month, 30 days straight. Um, but it's $3 a day, or if you buy a permit, the permit, I buy an annual permit, it's only like 30 bucks, I think. 30, 35 bucks, I think it was. But there's nothing, I mean, it's pack it in, pack it out. There's no water. There's a Volt toilets. So you could, you know, use the Volt toilets. You could, if you have a porta potty, you could dump your cassette in there. That's a good idea because then you wouldn't have to worry about dumping your black tank. But you can't let gray water out on the ground either. You can't do that at Babcock Ranch at the in the hunting area. And there's people out there that they're hunting. But everybody has to be out of there by January. I think it's January 19th. It's like um, Martin Luther King birthday. Yeah, that's the last day you can camp there. You have to be out like at 9 o'clock that night, and then it reverts back to weekends. So I think it's November and December and January. Those 3 months, they allow campers to stay for 30 days at a time if they're hunters, if you have the or if you have the permit. And they got several campsites there, and I love it there. It's been pretty safe, you know, in Florida. Ocala National Forest is another place that you can camp that's pretty, and it's a national forest, and so you get a discounted rate there. And you'd be surprised. I have a new app that I downloaded and it's called, I'll tell you what it's called in a minute, RV Overnights. Have anybody hear about it? RV Overnights? Yeah, that's what it's called. RV Overnights. So if you get this RV overnight, there's a guy jumping up and down. Um, God, they're making some updates right now, but RV overnights is 29.99. So it's, and if you get it now, it's what you pay for a lifetime. So it's like it's never going to change. So I still have the original $30 a year. It's that's what it's $30 a year for RV overnights. I have the original $30 a year that Boondocker Welcome used to have. And I've been grandfathered in since I've had it for so many years. I don't, want to lose it. So I have that for 30 bucks a year and this one for 30 bucks a year. So for $60 a year, I can it's worth it, because then I don't have to pay anything to camp at these places. And then you get, of course, when you stay at somebody's house, you want to give them a thank you card. If you use their electric or their water or their garbage, you want to give them a payment donation. They usually want $5 or $10 a day. But some people on Boondocker Welcome, since Harvest Host took over, they want to charge you like 20 bucks a day, and they only want you to come to their house if you're going to pay for the electric. Well, forget about it. That's not what the program's about, or that's not what it was about. So this new RV overnights, I think, is going to be kind of like a Boondocker Welcome and Harvest Host together, because it's businesses and private, different private individuals, which I think is really cool. But so everybody's pretty quiet tonight as far as commenting. Is there anybody out there that has a channel that would like to advertise for your YouTube channel? If you can let us know what the name of your channel is and get some publicity for your channel here so other people can see where you're from, where if you're on YouTube or if you're not on YouTube. Now, Sally Forth, who's on here, she's on YouTube. You should check out her channel. She has a pretty good channel. She did a lot of research on the BLM increase, or proposed increase. She did some research on that for the new price, not BLM, for the LTVA. And who else did I see on there? Of course, uh, Pup Camper. She does some cute little mini shorts. And who else was on? Mike and Lisa, they have a channel, a YouTube channel. Mike and Lisa, exceptional, exciting travels. I can never forget. I'll forget it if I have to. And then there's Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla. And who else did we have on here that has a YouTube channel? Trying to see. Oh, hi, Tom Rogers. I think I did say Yuma's great, but I don't remember. And if I said hi to everybody, passing time. Mike and Lisa's Excellent Adventure. That's the name of their channel. And then Crystal and Logringa. She does a lot of shorts and she does some videos on YouTube. Yeah, so seems like everybody's pretty quiet today. Today's Sweetest Day, I think, isn't it? If you have a sweetheart, you probably took them out to dinner. Yeah, I haven't stayed at Harvest Host either. And I did have it for a short time, but then I changed my mind and I just didn't want to, you know. Hey, Chef Santa Travels. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, as Christina said that the people in Florida are very pretty resilient after this hurricane, you know? They are. So, and now they want you to spend up to $30 at a host site. Oh, I see. So yeah, so the thing with Harvest Host was that basically, you know, if you went to one of these businesses that let you spend the night on their parking lot for the business, you should go in and purchase something, you know. And that's the whole idea for it's, that is the idea. The idea of letting you stay there is that they promote business for the business so that people will go and spend some money at the business. And I get it. And we should get it. I mean, so but like you said, instead of paying $20, well, they want you to spend $30. Well, you know, if I'm not getting electric or water or anything like that, it's not worth it for me to go to a Harvest Host and pay $20 because now they're renting out or $30. I could go to a rest stop and pay nothing and have, a bathroom accessible to me and water and vending machines. I would rather do that. But in the same respect, well, but you know what? I mean, I get it why, I don't they're rent what basically what they're doing though, Cheryl, is they're giving you a place to stay and you should pay for a place to stay, you know, unless they tell you you don't have to pay for a place. That's why they really need to get it straight with is Harvest Host saying that you have to pay that money or is the merchant saying that, yeah. The whole idea of that merchant, it's like a barter, it's a barter for advertising. So they're advertising that you can come and stay there, and then when you come and stay there, the whole reason of getting you in there is so that you spend money. That's why they're letting you stay there, so you come and spend money. To tell you how much you have to spend, to me, is demanding. If that's the case, then they should just say, okay, you can come and stay here. It's $20 and not say you have to spend $20 because then they just charge everybody to stay there. But if they start charging people to stay there, then they have to claim that on their taxes because now they're renting out campsites, which might be against the ordinance, you know? Well, the Harvest Host is getting the membership fee, not the merchant that lets you stay in their parking lot. The merchant's not getting anything. Well, the merchant is getting hopefully you to come and spend money in their business. So they're using Harvest Host to advertise. So instead of paying for advertising, you're coming in and buying something. Yeah, it's the merchant the one who gets screwed totally if you don't buy anything, you know. I mean, so if that's the case, the merchant should just, advertise on their own. That's why this new club, which this new one is RV Overnights, um, it's only 30 bucks and if you join it now, and I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I don't even know if they have affiliates yet. It's 2 guys started it. I saw their picture, but, you know, we shouldn't have this is my personal opinion. I don't think I am entitled to park anywhere for free. Nowhere, unless it's public land that belongs to us because it's public land that belongs to any citizen of the United States, okay? Um, if I go park at somebody's house, I don't assume that I can park there for free, you know? Or if I go park in I don't park in Walmart and think I could just park there for free and not buy anything in that store. People assume that they could just park at Walmart and not pay a dime and sit there and take up a parking space all day. Well, you know what? I mean, granted, they have a lot of parking spaces, but that's like somebody just coming and parking in your yard all night and taking up your yard. Well, why should they be able to park in your yard just because your lights are on 24 hours? It's your property. It's Walmart's property. It's but the people who let you do that are doing that so that you will come and pay and utilize and buy something in their business. And when you don't, it's not worth it for them to have to deal with all the crap and garbage that people leave behind. Not me, not you, Cheryl, not Sally, not Debbie, not my people here. But the bottom line, so okay, so Sally looked it up. The guys that started RV Overnight used to work for Harvest Host. Oh, interesting. I just looked in that app, looked up in the app store, and now it's 50 bucks instead of 40 bucks. It's probably end up trying. Oh, you'll probably, well, I pay 29.99 for RV overnights. You sure there's no special going on it? Well, yeah, Mama Wonderlust, people do, it's kind of like, why should I let you park in my parking lot when you leave all your trash and you put your poop in my dumpster if you're in a van and you don't have a toilet, um, you know, and it attracts bugs and animals and critters and stuff like that. So why should I do that? And then once I let you stay there, and you don't leave, I have to have you evicted or have to call the police to get rid of you, because you're not leaving, like in some Walmarts in some states. Yeah, I always eat at the Cracker. I spend too much money at Cracker Barrel, I'll tell you the truth. In fact, this shirt I have on now, I don't know if you can see it. It's got a little ruffle at the bottom. It's really, well, it's a little baggy sitting here, but it's really pretty. It's got a sweet little ruffle, lacy. I got that at Cracker Barrel. I buy a lot of stuff at Cracker Barrel. I buy a lot of stuff for the kids at Cracker Barrel. They got the greatest candy there that I send home to my grandkids and my son and people, but I've also been to Cracker Barrel where they treated me like crap and I made a complaint. Well, we were in there, table six of us with Gypsy, um, Debbie and Dennis. We were there and me and a couple other people and Deb's Van Venture, and they were really rude to us. And we were spending a lot of money in there. And I complained it and I wrote a letter and the corporate office did end up, you know, apologizing, and then they did send me a gift certificate, but that really was I wasn't doing it to get a gift certificate. I was doing it to say, "Hey, you know, you encourage for people to come there and then your wait staff she treats us like shit." You know? Yeah, a lot of people are ruining it for others. Let's say so maybe oh, the App Store says 49, huh? Yeah, I would, you might be able to still get that deal. I don't know. I paid 29.99 and I get it for that for the rest of my life. It never goes up. And I still have Boondockers Welcome for 30 bucks a year. And it was less than that before I had it. But and I know the lady, I met her and I camped with her at my friend Linda's house in Fort Myers. She's one of the I have a couple of friends who are considered golden hosts, for Boondockers Welcome hosts. And but when I was camping at Racers Retreat in Fort Myers, which they've moved on to another state now, um, the woman who founded it, I forgot her name now. I'm having a senior moment. I'm 70 tomorrow. 70. Anyway, um, she was really nice lady. Her and she came there and she camped with us. And her daughter did that whole program, but it got very big. She's from Canada. And I can't but yeah, it's Cracker Barrel's awesome. I love going there. Okay, we're not talking about Medicare right now, Freddie. Everybody knows it's open enrollment. Yeah, you're right, Debbie. I'm sure you and Eddie both go in, you go in there and you eat dinner when you get there, and then you go in there and eat breakfast in the morning, you know. Yeah, I do the same thing. And then I buy stuff there. Sometimes I go in there, it costs me $100, and I'm like, heck, for $100, I could have had 2 nights in an RV park or in a state park if I could get a place in the state park. And that's another thing, like with the Florida state parks, you got to be on that website every day to get in there, because Florida people get the first dibs and then they get to book like 11 months out. You only get to book 10 months out. And you're lucky if you can get a spot, you know, s- for more than 2 days, especially in the Keys, but it's very difficult. Hey, Georgina, thank you for stopping, joining our live stream. Oh, you stayed at your first Boondocker welcome. That's pretty cool. I hope it was a good one. Um, I'll next time I'm trying to think. Oh, well, you're pretty big. You wouldn't fit in my friend's place. She's a um but I have a place for you in Indiana that these people are awesome. And they have a pond, and then they have this little platform out on a pond. They have an outdoor shower that they let me use, but they're awesome people, really nice people. She's a retired teacher. He's a retired funeral director. I know it sounds funny. Their daughter is a country western singer. She's recorded a record in Nashville. But I'll let you know when I see you about that Boondocker Welcome location. I mean, I can't tell you up on here because they're confidential unless you're a member. So yeah, I do like Cracker Barrel a lot, and I will go there often. But going to I mean, I've gone to Costco, and they've been after hours, and nobody's ever said anything. Um, in New Hampshire, yeah, not I think going wait, northeast in that area. I think the Dan Van. Well, no, he didn't have Boondocker Welcome. I don't know who he used up there, but somebody else that I talked to said that they used a lot of Boondocker Welcome locations up in the east. You know, Now, when I went to Niagara Falls, I ended up staying in a park and it was $95 a day. Well, I only stayed for 2 days because I went to see Niagara Falls and then I turned around and came back. $100 a day is not in my budget at all. I did have to, I rented a space here in Yuma for a week from friends of ours. Sally, you know who I'm talking about. But I did, pay to stay at a park for a little while. And fortunately, I was able also to do some work at the park, which helped um, the expense, knock down, what I had to spend. But that I only did that because it was so hot here, and I had to wait because I had to wait 7 days before I could come back into the Thousand Trails Park. But to me, between the Thousand Trails and then the other 2 memberships, I'm paying almost $1,500 a year. That's a whole year. That's only $100 a month, and I mean, that's dirt cheap. Where could you go for $100 a month, to camp? It's really because in between there is a Boondocker Welcome location here in Yuma, but I didn't, um and I coulda hooked up, and I think they wanted, like, $5 a day for electric. Well, that's cheap. You can't really complain about that. I mean, that's really inexpensive. Yeah, 20 feet max. That's like the one in the Keys, it's 25 feet is the maximum length, and it's the only one in the Keys, that you can, that is a Boondockers Welcome location. Now, last year, I was pretty lucky. I knocked on wood. I had the spot that I was able to boondock at, and, you know, they never said anything to me. And then I would go over to Sombrero Beach for the day, and I would just but you know what? Sombrero Beach changed and has signs that says no RVs. Because when I'd park there, of course, I'd have to take up a couple of spots between my rig and my van, you know? I'd have to park long ways because the parking spaces were too short. So now they don't allow any RVs at Sombrero Beach. But and then at nighttime, I would go and stay over in the parking lot by the old Kmart, and there's a McDonald's there. Well, last year I got the knock. I did. At like 6 in the morning and 5 in the morning, but it wasn't from the police, it was from, the guy who does, uh, the cleans up the parking lot, and he was really nice, he was spoke broken English, and he said, "I'm just telling you, you can park here all day long if you want, but you cannot park here at night." So what's the key? Drive around all night and stay awake, and then during the day, go park there? No. But I could drop my trailer there and take the van and go over to Sombrero Beach if I wanted to. East Coast bedtime. Oh, there you go. Thanks for joining us, Sally, and, be safe and safe travels, and thank you for the birthday wishes. And I'll see you soon, I'm sure. I'm not gonna see you in Arizona because it doesn't sound like you're coming here at all. But, maybe I'll see you in Florida. But get out of that east area, northeast before it gets too cold. Brr. Thank you, and have a good night. 7 years. Me too, 7 years now. I've also been out here 7 years. And well, I didn't really get the knock. I mean, somebody said, but one time here in Yuma, we just pulled in. The Dan van and I had just pulled in across from one of the Walmarts over here in this one BLM land. And somebody must have called the police because they were in a subdivision across the street from us and said, and the police came over and said, you're not allowed to park there anymore. But we had just pulled in, so it really wasn't like we were getting the knack. I mean, it was just letting us know you can't park there anymore. Thanks, RV Butterfly, for joining us. Enjoy the beach, Sally. Enjoy the beach. But and like I said, when the guy, told me, "Hey, you can't you can park here all day. They don't care if you're here all day, but you can't be here at night." And that's basically not because the owner doesn't want you to park there or it's basically because they have an ordinance all over Monroe County, all the way down to Key West, no boondocking and no overnight parking in any of the parking lots. Now, I'll tell you what, um, if you fish, hey Sonia, thanks for joining us. K9 5760, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Cheryl. Pup Camper 58, thanks for joining. Drive safe. Oh, hopefully I'll see you here. Maybe after Thanksgiving, before Christmas, if you're here. After Cocoa. Enjoy the Cocoa Fest. Cocoa Fest is an event that Deborah Dickerson um, has in New Mexico. It's a meetup she does every year. Usually after Lollapalooza, but there's no more Lollapaloozas, so um, actually, I guess she's doing it earlier than usual because if she's doing it this weekend, this would have actually been like the weekend we normally do. Excuse me, usually the third weekend or the fourth weekend we used to do Lollapalooza, but Lola, Kelly, rest in peace. It's been a year since she passed away. We do miss her. Oh, being able to camp on the beach is awesome, you know. Oh, thank you. Well, Danny appreciates it. She's sound asleep now. She was hoping that I was going to give her something special tonight, but nope. Tomorrow I'm going to make her a mug cake for her birthday. We'll see, because I don't want to put any sugar in there, so it'll just be like almond flour and an egg and a little baking soda, and it'll be like a mug. It'll be a mug cake, and I'll put a little candle in there and sing happy birthday. I got a party hat for her too. She's 8, you know, 8 times 7, 57 years old. 56 years old. I can't even think right now. Please film. Film what? What did you want me to film? Her birthday? No, you know what? That's not what that law was about, Debbie. The law that the governor passed was that you cannot park on public land. Public land is different than private property. Private Cracker Barrel's property is private property. Public land would be the parkways, the park. It's not, it's land that belongs to the public, land that belongs to the city, land that is not privately owned. So if Cracker Barrel lets you park there, you can park there, you know? It's about because what it's or at Walmart, you could park at Walmart. It's private property. If I say you can park on my property, that's not public land, but you can't park on the street and boondock on the street, you know, for days at a time. So that's what that law was about from what I was reading. And it's all about words and definitions. Public land is like BLM land. It's like the forest preserves. It's like, but when it's designated camping areas, then you can park there. If it's private property, like Cracker Barrel is privately owned, the mall parking lots are privately owned. And if they allow you to park, that's their business. But it's not, you know, and basically, he's not talking about campers. He's talking about it's basically what they're doing is trying not to have people in tents and homeless people, um, you know, parking and then staying put. But there's plenty, there's plenty of places to park for free. There's a place in, oh, the mug cake. I'll take a picture of the mug cake. Yeah, you just gotta, there was a place in Fort Myers last year and the year before. I did videos on it where I stayed there. And it used to be a Publix shopping, a Publix store. If you're not from Florida or if the other states that have Publix grocery stores, but their Publix is a grocery store. The green Publix, Publix. And they're a big grocery store and they're great, but they're getting too expensive. Anyway, um, the governor can pass a law that you can't park overnight and camp in tents on public land, which would be like the street, the parkways, um, things like that. Places not designated for camping. If it's designated for camping, then it's designated and they either, but when it belongs to the public, like a park, and you go to the park and you stay in a tent and they got to get rid of you. You can't be parking in tent. You can't be sleeping on the park bench, things like that. But if you have permission, and it says parking on public land without permission, and I believe that that was one of the things he said with that was a key word, without permission. But there was this place, and it was an old public store, and then after Hurricane Ian, they made it into a FEMA location. So they had people that were homeless because their houses were damaged in this parking lot by Publix. But there was also, it was like a wedding venue there, but they weren't being used. And there was also one of those, a breakfast brunch place. And there was one of those little, gambling cafes, like those privately owned places like 777. You can go in and play machines and gamble in there. But it was a huge parking lot, and somebody told me about it, so I went and parked over there. I was parked there for a week. Nobody said anything. Deputies came through there, never said nothing, never asked me to leave, but there were other people who was obviously obvious that had been there for a month. They had obviously been there for at least a month, maybe 2 months or more. People with toys, kids' toys all over the place, all kinds of stuff. And, so but what I did was, oh, that's yes, Mama Wonderlust. I'm glad that you were there. We appreciated that you came. But, so I was there, but what I did was I called there was a big real estate sign on the window. Now FEMA was gone already, but there are still some people left over that still hadn't gotten out of there, or been able to get out of there and get on their own. So I called and on the real estate sign and I says, "Hi, this is my name. This is what I'm driving. I'd like to know if I could park in your parking lot. I see there's some other people parking. I have a brand new vehicle and a brand new camping trailer. It's not a sore thumb. It's not run down. And um, I hope it's okay that I could park here. Here's my phone number. And if you don't want me to park here, let me know." And they never call me back. Yeah, well, K-9 5960, the governor can pass a law that you can't park on, um, public land for the state of Florida. He can. That's what he does. He's a governor for the state, and he can pass that law. It has to do with state land. It's not federal lands. He's not talking about national parks or federal lands. He's talking about public land, basically, that belongs to the city or the county or the state. The streets, the highways, and yeah, they can, because they can make those laws. And it went through their, the process of going through the House or whatever it has to do. It's not like he just made it up and signed it. It went through the channels. But No, you don't get a senior discount in Christina if you don't live in if you're not from Florida. You only get the senior discount if you are a Floridian in Florida because they don't give it to me. I asked. So I do have a senior I do have a pass, a park pass. I have a the senior park pass. Well, no, I have a state park pass for Florida. And I got a senior discount for the park pass last January. They were running a special, so I got it for half price. But that does not give me senior discount on camping. In order to get a senior discount on camping, you have to be a Florida resident. So I might be changing my residency back to Florida because but it's the same way in Illinois. If I go camping in Illinois State Park does not charge you to get in their park. There's no fees to get in. But if you camp, you gotta pay, you know? Well, they only give senior discounts to people who live in Illinois. And the same thing is with Texas. I think Texas too. I'm not sure about Texas, but I did have their pass, but I don't think I got a senior discount there either. Um, but a lot of places you have to be a resident of that state to get the senior discount in the state park. But I do get a senior discount in any of the national parks or the national forests or the Army Corps of Engineers that anybody who honors the senior lifetime pass that I have for America the Beautiful, which that's a great deal. I w- I wish I got the senior discount because boy, I can't go or one. It would I spent it cost me like $60 every time I camped it down in the Keys last year in a park, which was a little bit. I mean, I had put money away because it was getting hard to find places to boondock. Oh, not much. We were just talking about but the governor has a final sign off once it's passed through all the state, red tape. Yeah, that's okay, Christina. I mean, only because I know I was thinking, yeah, my brother gets this, he's gets the senior discount, but I don't. So I mean, and the thing is that I can't even say, I got to be honest about it because unless he's camping with me, which he doesn't do because if he's going to go anywhere and camp, it's going to be on his boat, you know, um, he, yeah, you can't. And the person that you're using, they get to see Florida residents get to book state park campsites 11 months in advance. So by time as a non-state resident, you're lucky if you can even get a campsite in the state parks in Florida now. But the one park I seem to have no trouble in and I really enjoy is St. Andrews up in the Panhandle near Panama City Beach. It's immaculate. It's very clean park, very nice, and it's right on the water. I mean, almost every single campsite is a great campsite, you know? So, and I do have, I was able to book a couple of days there when I first get to Florida because I'll be coming across like 10 and 20 coming across to, through Alabama and all that to get to into the Panhandle when I leave here, just like I did last year. Which, and then I'll stay up in the Panhandle for a couple of days, and then I'll make my way down to the other places that I'm gonna visit. I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited about going to Florida, but because I do miss the beach, but right now is really not the greatest time to go. I think it's better for people to wait until and not go there until they are able to restore a few things. In fact, I did see because I got it. I don't know if it was an email. I'm trying to think if it was an email that said that's when I learned that Lake Panasofi was open, but I'm trying to think if it wasn't an email. I think it was must have been on my maybe it was on my Facebook or something. Somebody wrote something, and maybe it was on Facebook that the which parks were open, and that's when they said that, Lake Panasofi had opened up. They named a few other places that opened up, but I don't remember what they were. I wish I had kept that. I mean, I'm sure I still have it, I just don't remember if it was on, Boondocking full-time Facebook group or if it was on Girl Camper, which I stay on both those sites. Well, no, because people have to make laws because if they and I'll tell you why I don't have an issue with lawmakers, um, K-9 5760 is because there's too many people out there that take advantage of other people and who don't have any pride in the land and they don't take care of anything. They don't take care of their land. They don't take care of anything that they didn't have to work for, that maybe was given to them. It seems like, people just don't, you when you travel as much as some of us do. I mean, I don't know if you travel K9 5760, but um, I see, yeah, I mean, people just don't even take care of their own property. They've got just piles of garbage just piled up and piled up and piled up and piled up. And like, I if some of the more fortunate people were to travel around and see this, and it's like, hey, you be grateful you have what you have, and be grateful your parents keep your yard nice and clean. And I mean, because how would you feel, if your yard looked like this? I mean, sometimes you just see equipment just abandoned in the middle of a field, stops working. Okay, I just dump it and leave it here, and then they never go back and get it or move it or do anything with it. It just sits there you know? And I realize, sometimes they wanna sell it for parts or whatever, but oh, cool, Debbie, I don't know if I'm gonna be there the same time or not. I have to check and see what my reservation is because 'cause I'm gonna be in St. Andrews in January. I think I'm there the 11th I actually think I'm there the 11th. Maybe I can add a day and I'll be able to are you checking out the 10th? I should check it and see. Um, let's see if I have, see if I can get into my reservations. It's so weird because you go into the state park, but then you have to go to another place to go into a reservation, you know? Then you gotta find the reservation website for the state of Florida. Well, but you know what? Um, Canine, it's not they don't not necessarily that they need help. That's just the way they were raised. They don't know any different, or they don't think there's anything wrong with it, you know? I mean, and people from other countries, that's the way that they were raised, and the garbage just piles up, or they didn't have, I mean, it's like even down here in Arizona, there's a lot of places that you drive around, and it just people just don't take care of their homes the same way I was raised and saw people, take cut their grass, trim their bushes, not have a bunch of junk in their yard. But some of that's got to do with the fact that there are no ordinances. and there's nobody enforcing, like, code enforcement to enforce the laws or anything like that. So, you know, or they don't have HOAs, is it but we didn't have HOAs in our neighborhood. I mean, it was just a neighborhood, you know, you couldn't have a car in your property that didn't have a license plate on it, and it wasn't or that didn't work. It was against the law. They would tow it. There's very well, you should have came early, Linda, to find out at Camp Goer 1 about Craggy Wash. There was a shootout in Craggy Wash. Um, and for anybody else who's late, the reason why the whole um I'm trying to let me look this real quick and see what my reservations say. I'm gonna look at my reservation because I'm trying to look at the date. Come on, my reservations. Might take a minute to. Okay, so what happened at Craggy Wash was that um up oh that's my annual pass. I gotta renew my annual pass. St. Andrews. I go there on the 11th. Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna depend on when I leave here. So I have to check it and see. Um, oh, that's okay. I'm just teasing you, Camp Gore one. Uh, so what happened is this guy went camping. I'm gonna give a quick recap for anybody who didn't see the first part of this live chat, which was an hour. Boy, we've been on for an hour and a half. K9 5760, are you a canine handler? Is that why you have that handle? Or do you breed dogs? So, yeah, I'm in Yuma, Camp Gore. So what happened is I saw this video about this shootout in Craggy Wash. So the bottom line of it was these two guys went camping. One of the guys was due to go back home for jury duty. He never returned. So his wife filed a missing persons report because he couldn't get a hold of him. Now, I don't know if she contacted the guy that was with him or she even knew the guy that was camping with her husband. That's information or why she didn't ask the guy who was camping with her husband. But after the investigation proceeded, it turned out that the guy that was camping with her husband, he was he was okay, but what he knows is we don't know what he knows because they're not telling anything. But I don't know, there's no big secret that needs to be kept unless they're trying to find some other suspect or something. But so the guy's missing. So they do a missing persons report. But 2 or 3 days before the wife calls the cops and says her husband didn't return home, this other this body turns up in Nevada off of I-15. And the body has been has blunt trauma and gunshot wounds. And he's a John Doe. So then, oh, I got it, canine. So in the meantime, John Doe is not, has not been identified in Nevada. But there's this missing persons report on this guy that went camping over near Grand Canyon on the rim at Jacobs Lake. But the guy he was camping with, somehow he returned home okay. But what he knows, nobody's saying because his name is being kept a secret. Nobody knows who this guy is that was supposedly with this guy, Russell. But now they can't find Russell. And his car's missing, his truck and his camper. He had a travel trailer. Well, then after they put out this information about the truck and the travel trailer, somebody calls law enforcement and says that the truck has been spotted at Craggy Wash. So law enforcement goes over to, and detectives go over to Craggy Wash, and there's a guy in the truck. And when they go to up to the truck to talk to the guy and investigate, he opens fire on the police officers. And then he tries to ram the police officers with the truck. And then the police officers kill him. They shoot, they return fire and he's dead. So now he's dead. So somebody says he stole the truck. Well, you don't know that the guy that owns the truck didn't give the guy the truck. You don't know because this guy's dead. And you still haven't found Russell, the owner. Well, in the meantime, the guy in Nevada turns out to be Russell. He was found dead before the wife even filed the missing persons report. They just didn't know it was the same guy because it was in 2 different states. And although missing people reports go out all over the place on NCIC, which is the national crime system that sends out bolos to every state and every law enforcement agency to say, hey, this person's missing, a missing persons report. They weren't connected right away that this guy missing is the same as this guy that was found 2 days previously before the report was made. So now the guy that had the truck is dead. The victim who owned the truck is dead. So we don't know if the victim that owned the truck gave the guy that had the truck. And supposedly, according to police reports that I showed up here on the screen, the 2 guys don't know each other. But who's that based on? We don't know who's saying that, but the other people might not know who Russell knew and who the bad guy that got shot at police knew. They might have known each other, but nobody might have known that they knew each other. And who's the third guy? That's Mr. Secret Person. And how do we know that this guy with the truck actually killed and shot the guy that was found on the side of the road until they examine the gun that he used to shoot at police and see if it's the same gun used in the murder of Russell, the missing man. Sounds very interesting, doesn't it, Linda? You're intrigued, I can tell. So Google shootout at Craggy Wash. But the key is Craggy Wash has gotten pretty seedy lately. Like last year when Destination Open Road was there and some of the stuff they were showing, there was like a lot of junk around the place. It was really rough going in there, you know. People just weren't taking care of it the way that they used to, like when we all used to go out to those places. And that was the thing, like I said before, when we would go out there, well, I didn't go to Craggy Wash because it was real bumpy to take my rig in there. Yeah, it is. Well, it's just that all the facts are not put out there yet, because it takes time to do the ballistic test and see if the gun that the cops had a shootout with is the same gun used to kill Russell Vinton, who was the victim and the missing person. But these 2 people can't answer whether or not he gave the truck to the Tennessee man, or if the Tennessee man stole the truck from him. Where's the camper? The camper is still missing. The trailer is still missing. It has not been found yet. And there is a license plate for it, Arizona license plate. But more than likely, whoever has the trailer, if it's still around or if it wasn't sold to somebody, whoever had that trailer would have taken the license plates off of it. It's yeah. I mean, they don't put I mean, inquiring minds want to know, right? It'd be curious to see. Well, now the fees at the long-term visitor center has nothing to do with people being slobs. I mean, people take their stuff to the trash. They don't leave their crap all over the place, like they do in the desert where there's no regulations. That's true. When it's under investigation, They're not gonna tell you everything, like, they're keeping this friend a secret that was camping with this guy, you know? His name has not been put out there. He's a witness. Maybe they're trying to protect him from something, I don't know, but they did say that he was safe, and they are saying that, um, the victim, Russell, did not know the suspect they believe that had his truck, that they didn't know each other. Well, we don't know that because you don't know everybody you're like, as a wife, she wouldn't know everybody her husband has met or knows. You just don't, not because there's people your husband might have met that, that he never would that he just would have met, like, randomly and not like an occasional person, just an acquaintance. And, yeah, when they're investigating stuff. But right now, it's not like they have to keep anything quiet for an arrest unless they feel that there's other people involved, and then they would wanna keep that quiet if they think there may be some other perpetrators or some other foul play. Yeah. It just happened October, 6th through 10th, 11th. No, they're not gonna charge just to stay at BLM areas, that's not true. The only places they're charging to stay at are the LTVAs or the places that have amenities. They're not charging at Skad and Wash, they're not gonna charge at Roadrunner, they're not charging at, regular BLM land. Now you gotta pay at State Trust land, but State Trust land, I think you pay like $15, but you're only allowed to stay 14 days in a whole year. So it's not like you stay 14 days, leave, and come back, but you can't. 14 days, that's it. That's all you get to camp there each year. So you're paying a dollar or so for each day you stay, more or less. But it's basically the places that they have provided amenities. That's what they are saying. They're saying that the guy that is dead in Nevada was killed by the guy who had his truck that shot at the cops. But there's no way to know that if one killed the other until they compare the firearms that the guy had in the truck had to the guy that was shot. So when you say only the rich will pay, you mean as far as the LTVA? Well, LTVA wants you to pay, if they raise the price, it's going to be $600 a year for the winter months when everybody comes down there. That's what they're going to raise it to. And they had this big meetup and everything, which to me was a big farce because why are you having a meetup just so you can blow smoke up everybody's ass, and kind of appease them and try to get on their good side? What, so that they will still come this year? You know, of course they're still going to come this year. They're going to make sure they come this year for the $180, but they may not come back next year. Yeah, the guy that is dead is from Arizona. They're from Arizona. So what the heck was he? Why did he drive to Las Vegas to dump him? Or maybe somebody else dumped him in Las Vegas. Or maybe they all went to Las Vegas to go gambling and something happened on the way back and the camper was left somewhere or the camper got gambled away. There's all kinds of scenarios that could have happened. He could have gambled away his camper. He could have gave it away for money or sold it. Who knows what he did, you know? And they said that there were suspicious things found at the campsite. Well, they didn't name what kind of suspicious things. What could be suspicious found at a campsite except for drugs or uh, condoms or bloody clothes, stuff like that. Who knows? But maybe we'll know more. Maybe more will come out. Bob's. I think they are. They're doing another RTR in Quartzsite. I think so in January. But they don't do it in the desert anymore. He just has everybody meet at that center or whatever and whatever that park is, and you're on your own when it camps. It's not like we used to all go out, scat and wash, and then we just walked over to the campfire and had our RTR. Now you got to get in your car from where you're camped at and drive over to downtown Quartzsite to meet up. And he usually does it before the big tent. So I'd have to Google it to see what it is. Let's see. You'd have to check it and see RTR, see what comes up if I just put RTR in there. Yeah, it doesn't just come up. I guess I have to put in Bob Wells or Cheap RV Living or something to find out when it is. I don't go to it anymore, so um yeah, the good old days. Yeah, we could talk on Patreon. Um yeah, they're changing their building stuff on Patreon. I don't know what they mean by that. I quite don't quite understand it, but um I'll be there what I say, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th, and I don't know where I'm going after that. I don't I'd have to look and see if I don't remember if I had a reservation somewhere. Probably Tallahassee and visit a couple friends, but I can meet up with you guys someplace if you're going home. Maybe finally we can meet up and, you know, we'll email each other. Yeah, good old days. We had good old days in Scat and Wash, at the RTR. It was a lot of fun. I remember my one of my when I first time I went there and I went to sign in, you gotta sign in with the campground host, and I was like, "Oh, I got my 14-day pass." I'd never done that before. I came all the way from Chicago down here. It was my first, big Nomad get together. I didn't know anybody, and, I mean, I knew people from, talking to them online, like, and I knew Caravan Carolyn, and I was gonna meet, she's like, "Come over to my camp," and I was gonna go over you know, and here I was camped right by her, which was perfect, and Aja and those people, and Eric, it was a gas. My first year, was really cool. And then, um but it was neat, just an accomplishment just getting here and then checking in, getting my ticket that said I could camp for 14 days. We don't even do that anymore. I never go anywhere where I have to go check in with um, a BLM host and get a little thing that says I can camp for 14 days because now everybody goes to the art, they go to the LTVA. Thank you, Princess. Thanks very much. So, I mean, it's so much different and things have changed so much since in 7 years. It's weird, I mean, because I don't even go near Skadden Wash, but I might want to just go out there and camp. It's a good place to camp, but I like to go to Roadrunner. Hey Jojo, I like to go to Roadrunner and I like to go to, boy Jojo, it's late for you. You're up late because you're all the way on the East Coast. All you that are on the East Coast, this is late for y'all, isn't it? Because what time is it? Well, if it's 9, oh, it's about 11 o'clock, right? By you guys. So it's just kind of, it's changed so much. Like now we stay in parks or like I have a Thousand Trails membership, and people go to the LTVA, and people didn't go to the LTVA. None of the people that we camped with went to the LTVA before when I first started this. Nobody. It was like nobody went to LTVA that I knew. They didn't want to pay the $180. Nobody had the $180 to pay. Hardly anybody had solar when I started. Um, We winged it. I mean, we didn't have much of anything. Some people had a little bit of solar, but not like we do now. I mean, I can run my whole camper for on solar indefinitely. I can't use air conditioning, but I never had enough water. I had enough. I mean, I would conserve my water, it was kind of like, you know, don't flush all the time. If you're just peeing, don't flush because you don't want to use up your water. And your baby wipe showers. Oh, it's midnight? Yeah. Catching up on work, Jojo? Oh, it's midnight, huh? Yeah, Eric, all the people, it's like, and some people aren't even out here anymore that I've met. I mean, well, or they're not on YouTube anymore. Like Wandering Jimmy. Now I see Wandering Jimmy whenever I go up by Aja's. I get to see Jimmy, and he's from Chicago originally. Oh, that was nice, Linda. Um, So it's nice I get to see Jimmy when I'm up there, but a lot's changed. And unfortunately, we have lost some people who have passed away. Um, but you know, yeah, RV Joey was there the first year I went to. She was still traveling with the tribe. In fact, tomorrow's her birthday too. Her and I have the same birthday, so I got to send her a message says happy birthday to her. Blue Van Dan, yeah, and he was just in the blue van then. Mike, Jamie from the band build, you know, yeah. So it's only almost 9 o'clock here. Is that right? Camp Goer one, is it almost 9 o'clock? Yeah, I guess I started at 7. Yeah, Terry and Scott, um, a lot, Marsha, a long, lost road trip. Linda, Moo Travels, Nomad Ranch. Well, they weren't Nomad Ranch then, but um, Sue and Ed were traveling. Who else was it out there? There were a lot of people out there. Oh, and there was a lot of people that we had a lot of fun with. But some people just aren't even on the road anymore. Yeah, everybody was putting in Max Air fans. I don't even have a fan in my van, but that was a big deal, the big thing. But then the people started putting solar in, like at the van builds, they started doing the solar. And when it was, because well, a lot of people we just didn't have the money. We were coming out here with very little, on strict budgets. Camper van Kevin, yeah, he used to come and travel and be at the van build, at the RTR, all that stuff. So I haven't heard anything about Felix. I did see Kevin had a post of the puppies with their winter sweaters on, and he said he did not have any updates on Felix. So I hope that people will continue to pray for Felix, who is battling pancreatic cancer. Yeah, I miss some of those days too, but I like being more um prepared and stuff. I don't know where Joey. No, Joey's. I don't think she's good. She never went back. She's in Arizona somewhere. When she came to Arizona last year, she was coming here to stay here, and that was it. I haven't seen her this year to you know, so I really don't know where she's at. But I'm gonna text her tomorrow. I mean, I have text her and talked to her, but I don't really know where she's at right now. And she does her thing, but I am gonna text her because her birthday's tomorrow. Yeah, he was in the hospital. His niece was taking him down to Houston, but they had to stop him and go to the hospital. They didn't make it there. He had to go into the hospital. So I don't know if he got out or if he's still in the hospital. And Kevin didn't have any updates. But yeah, we had a lot of different things happening back then. A Camo Dave day. That was a day of Camo Dave, you know? And was Mikey was out here and all kinds of people. Things have really changed. And I gotta say, a lot of people have, oh, and Christopher Travels, a lot of people have actually changed. Onward Christians. Yeah, I will tell her. And thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Um, I think a lot of people, things have changed for us for the better, you know? I think it's changed for the better. People have nicer homes, rigs to live in, nicer vans, because other people have we've taught each other how to live a little bit better in this lifestyle. And there's been more opportunities like, you know, like the memberships or like Thousand Trails. When I didn't know about Thousand Trails when I first came out here, but I don't know where Mike's at. I don't know if he's in Concho or where he's at. I don't really watch his videos very much anymore, but it's kind of it's yeah, things have really changed. I think for the better. And it's more of a sustainable lifestyle. And then look at Asha, she has a property now, a homestead, and it's really nice. And she invites people there to get, and they have a safe place to stay when she's in, up at her home. It's really, you know, a lot of people have bought property and started homesteading. I don't know where I thought Dane and Steve had land in um, somewhere near Eric, but they're in Oklahoma, according to Steve in their last video. But Steve had to have some kind of heart procedure emergency heart procedure they posted. So I guess he's recovered now, and their children are all working. He did a video that all his children are working. They all have jobs. That's great. So it sounds like they're staying put for a little while. I don't think they're coming to Arizona. I don't know. I don't really talk to him very much. I see whatever Steve puts on Facebook because he asked me to be his friend on Facebook. So, but yeah, yeah, Pandemonium. She has a nice spot, and now she does her videos, Garden Days, which is her second channel, which is all about her gardening, which is pretty cool. So anyway, we've been on here for 2 hours. Oh my goodness, this is another long one, and we still have 30 people watching, so that's pretty good. Um, hey everybody, thank you very much for coming to my live chat. It's been a while since I've done a live chat. Yeah, grow your own food. Yeah. I mean, I've always looked for property, but I just haven't found anything, and I don't know that I want to settle down. Thanks, Eddie. And I'll be talking to Debbie and you soon on email, and maybe we can meet up for a meal when I get to Florida. It would be nice to see you guys. Well, you're welcome, K95760. Oh, Sequest Adventures. Thank you very much. Were you in the lurking library? Just listening? Lurkers Lounge? Because I know there's a lot of people that are maybe just have it turned on. I don't know, but if they're still here listening, thank you for joining us. If you haven't commented, I appreciate you and you watching the video or watching the live stream, this chat, you know, um, that's gone on for 2 hours. Danny's doing good. She's just peeking at me. It's her birthday at midnight. She's got the same birthday as me. And I was talking earlier, I'm going to make her a mug cake. I hope we can too, Debbie. That would be great. So I am going to sign off, even though it's hard to say goodbye. People need to help each other out. Yeah, that's great when people do. And now that I'm back on the road again, I'll probably start doing some more live streams, you know. Um, I hope to. I hope to. Be great. So I want to thank you, everybody, and I appreciate. Be safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't talk to strangers. Stranger danger. Don't talk to strangers. Come on now. Isn't that what your mom's always told you? I talk to everybody. But be safe. What? It's only midnight? Thanks, Jojo. Yeah, we've been on for 2 hours. Maybe you can catch the beginning. Tell Sierra I said hi. We'll dance again. Hopefully one day we'll get together and we'll and a meet up and dance again. Who knows? Thanks, Eddie. Thank you. No hitch. Yeah, don't pick up hitchhikers. That's right. And be careful. Don't when there's strangers and when there's people try to have a buddy system, if you can. And be careful where you park. Lock your doors. So, but just be safe. Have safe travels, everybody, and watch your back. Well, I wish you luck being a poll watcher, Camp Goer One. I used to be a judge, and I don't do that anymore. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign off, and I love yous all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming to our live stream. Be safe. Bye. Have a great week.